Hi guys, welcome to quarantine day 3. I've been meaning to do something for a long time and have been afraid, to be honest. And I figure now I have plenty of time, let me go ahead and do it. And that is makeup tutorials. The look I'm going to do for you today is a pink purple look. Most of the looks I do are full of color, purple being my favorite, but I also like to do blues and greens and some nudes. Other than the purple, rose gold seems to be my go-to lately when I do my makeup. Let's go ahead and get started. I've already washed my face and put on my moisturizer. So the first step today is to add a primer. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. Just one squirt should be enough to get all over the face. Just one squirt. This one is really good at filling in the pores and creating a smooth canvas to add all the rest of the makeup. I'm always on the search to find my favorite primer. This one is the one that I always go back to. Okay, now let's add some foundation. I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs Remarkable in 36 Beige Gold. Some on the forehead, through the T-zone, upper lip, and chin. That should be good. And I'm going to use a wet sponge to apply that. Kind of going to bounce it around. Call it a bounce and smear. So on the flat parts, you can kind of just smear it around with a slight bounce. On the other parts, like your T-zone, your nose, and right here in your cheeks, if you're like me, you have huge pores. So it's better to press it in to make sure those pores get full with the makeup. You want to make sure you get it all around too. I really like this one. It really helps cover up the dark spots that I have on my face. Let's see, take it all over the face and down into the chin. I don't like to go too far down the neck. I know some people do, but I don't. And very important with foundation is try your best to get it color matched because that ensures that you're going to get some great color. I think that looks pretty even. No missing spots. Because I feel like I look a little bit tired today, I'm going to add a little bit of color correcting concealer this one is from NYX. A little bit of yellow just with my finger to my under eye to brighten them up a little bit and cover the dark spots. Real light, tapping it into place. Okay. Next we'll add the concealer. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tip Concealer 27S Light Medium Sand. It is this one. Although it conceals, it also helps highlight. So you do want to get it on some of the higher areas of your face. For example, the bridge of your nose, up into the forehead. These will all keep your face open and looking up. A little bit under the eyes. Highlight the top of the lip and the chin a little bit. Then I'm going to use this same sponge and bounce it out. And then I'm going to use Charlotte Tilbury Genius Magic Powder in 2 medium to help set everything into place. First, I'm going to take my damp sponge and I'm going to dip it in the powder just a little bit. I don't want to get a lot on there, just enough to seal in the under eye area. So you see there's not a lot of powder on there. And then I'll use the Urban Decay complexion brush to get it all over the face. I used to use the Laura Mercier loose powder. I actually think I like it better. After this one runs out, I'll probably go back to that one. This one just sometimes seems to get stickier than the Laura Mercier did. Okay. Next, I'm going to use the Too Faced Cocoa Contour. This one has a medium cocoa and a dark cocoa. And I use the brush that comes with the kit, and I use the medium cocoa to do a contour around the nose to make the nose look smaller. Who doesn't like that? So it'll go down the side and up into the eyebrow, leaving the highlighted part open. Makes the nose look more narrow that way. Okay, now I'm going to use the dark cocoa, and I'm going to go directly below the pupil down to the cheek. I'm going to do a kind of an up and out. to define some cheekbones up into the hairline. And I like to do a little contouring around my face to frame it and make it look a little bit smaller. Nothing wrong with that. And this is still using the dark contour, dark cocoa contour. Maybe in one of my future videos I'll use the cream contour. I think those are more harsh and the powder blends a little bit better. Okay. Next I'll add some blush. Using the Urban Decay powder blush in Quickie, which is just a very bright pink. And I start on the apples and kind of go on top. Not too dark, but a little bit. See, that side came out a little too bright. Let's just pat some away with my hand. Next, I'm going to apply some highlighter. This one is from Laura Mercier. It has 3 colors in it. I'm going to be using, this is the Mood Lights Face Illuminator Trio in Devotion. It kind of has a white shimmer, a pink, and a bronzer type color. Today, since I'm going for a pink purple look, I'm going to use the pink one. And this again goes to the highest points of your face. So I'm going to do some just above the cheek bones up top, up into the top of the head. I like this one because it's not too shimmery, just shimmery enough. And then I'll also do some down the center of the nose. That'll be for the top of the lip and for the bottom of the lip. And I'm using the highlight brush from It Cosmetics to do that. Okay, now let's get moving on to the eyes. The first thing I like to use is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. This just helps the makeup stay on longer for me, because that's one thing that I want with my makeup. I put it on in the morning before I go to work at, let's say, 9 in the morning, and I'm not gonna get home until close to 7 at night. I need my makeup to last all day. And this is one way to do it. And this also helps the colors that I put on stand out more, so that what it looks like in the pot is what actually shows up on your face. Next, moving on to some eyeshadow. I'm going to use the Tartelette in Caregiver. That is this. Caregiver is this pink shade right here. I'm going to use the Sigma E25 brush to apply that. And I'm applying that from the crease up to the brow bone. The palette I'm mainly going to focus on today is the Urban Decay Cherry palette. This one. And I'm going to use the color Young Love. It's this really pretty purpley pink color. That's one of my favorites. I go to. And I'm going to apply that with the ColourPop E18 brush. That's from the lash line all the way up into the crease. Then I'm going to take my Stila 15 brush on the fluffy side and use the color Bing, which is this purple color, to use it to transition from the bottom to the top. And I put it into the color really lightly so that it doesn't go on super thick. You can build it up that way after the fact. And then putting that directly into the crease, kind of out into the corner of the eye. And adding a little into the corners as well. Then I'm going to use the color Devilish from the same palette, and I'm going to put some below the lash line, using the other side of the same brush. It's a little bit thinner. Then I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Rockstar. This one is my go-to. It goes with pretty much every single look that I do. I tend to stay away from the blacks. unless that's a look I'm going for. And browns only if I'm going for a nude look, but the purple Rockstar is always my go-to. I'm gonna put it right along the lash line in a thin line, winging it out just a little bit. Okay, the line didn't come out as thin as I wanted, but that's okay, I still like it. I forgot I had a color until last night when I was getting everything together with what I wanted to record today. And that's this one called Alkaline, also from the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. It's also a purpley color. The Rockstar is a cool purple. This is more of a warm purple. So I'm gonna put this one on the waterline. All right. Now, I'm not having good luck getting my camera angles and mirror angles right. So let me use a handheld mirror. It'll be a little bit easier, sorry. But I still want you to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going right into the lash line with that one. From the waterline right onto the lash line. And then repeat on the other side. Yes, I'm liking the way that's looking. Next, let's move into mascara. I use tons of different mascaras until I find the one I like, and I haven't bought it yet, and I don't want to go out to buy it, obviously, because of the quarantine right now, which is one from Too Faced called Damn Girl, and that one was really good with length and volume, and that seems to be something that I have issues with, is finding one that does both, so I always end up using two different ones, which is what I will do for you today. So for my volume, we are going to do the It Cosmetics Lash Blowout Mascara in black. And again, I'm going to use my handheld mirror because it's a little bit easier. I'm going right into the roots and wiggling it out. And then using the tip to kind of lengthen them out as well. And then I also go in through the top to just bump up some more volume. And people often ask me how many coats of mascara do I put on. Since I use two mascaras, I say two. But honestly, I just keep putting on coats until they get to my desired effect. So now I'm thinking that this is looking pretty volumized, pretty bushy. You can't see it too well, but let me do the bottom and then I'll add the second mascara. I got a little bit on the bottom lid. It's okay. Wipe it away, no problem. Okay, so that's my volume layer. And then to help lengthen and maybe add a little bit of extra volume, I'm going to use the Benefit They're Real mascara. I've been using this one for a few years now. It's one of my favorites. It's my favorite lengthening and separating one. The volumizing ones are the ones that I always mess around with. I'll have to do like a video where it's strictly mascaras so we can see a bunch of different mascaras. And again, I'm wiggling from the bottom, but also adding some depth from the top. One of these days, I'm going to start using falsies. I'm just not really great at putting them on because I don't do it very often, but maybe I need to start so that I do get good at putting them on. Let's see. Can't really tell from that angle, but I like how they're looking. And yes, it just occurred to me, I know I can order makeup online and have it delivered to the house, but my husband starts to get ask a little questions when I get too many boxes at the house, and then I feel bad when he's like, more makeup? And so I've been trying to slow down. So I'm gonna wait until I need more stuff and then I'll put a big order in, so I'm not getting too many boxes at a time. Where did I just put down the They're Real? Like, I couldn't have gone far. I didn't move anywhere. Oh, goodness. I swear, one eye of mascara, it'll be the same on my eyebrows, always comes out better. looks good. All right, next we're gonna move on to the brows. Goodness gracious. So this is a spoolie that I got at Ulta, free. And then I'm gonna use it. I actually like to brush my eyebrows down when I first start to fill them in, because I don't like, I've had it happen before with you just line it from where you're looking. If you look down, you end up seeing like a big gap of hairs that are missed. So I prefer to start from the top and work the way down and then go back in to work the way up. So I'm gonna be using the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit, and that is in 4.5. I'll use my handheld again, it makes it easier to get these up close. And actually maybe, well, I thought I can zoom in, but I can't. I'll have to do that in editing. So brushing everything down. It's really easier this way to see your natural eyebrow line, and that's just what I follow instead of drawing completely new brows on, because I have tried that and it never works out very well, at least not for me. So we're gonna get it right at the eyebrow line. And I'm going in pretty light strokes. I'm not doing any heavy strokes, and this is just to create the line, the foundation line that I'm gonna work in. And I do extend it a little bit longer at the tail, just because I think my brows are a little bit short. And they're definitely thin. All right, and then I'm gonna go in and color down in hair-like strokes to fill it in. Okay, now the brush up. I get really sparse right in here, so I like to focus on there the most. So I'm gonna brush some upward strokes, including right here. And I'm gonna draw a little bit of a line underneath just to thicken it up, because my lashes, or excuse me, my brows are super thin. Years of waxing. I haven't been able to grow them back. I've been trying for years, 3 years at least. I like to brush them up and then over. All right, now let's repeat on the other side. I still think that this falls a little bit gappy in there, but every time I try to add a few more strokes of hairs, it never looks right for me. My right brow is the one that always ends up better. Okay, now we'll brush them up and add some upstrokes. And I'll compare them. I know they're supposed to be sisters, not twins, but I don't want them to look completely different. I can already see this one looks a little bit thicker than that one. It's okay. We'll just add some strokes moving further down. Now we're going to just brush everything into place. And I also use the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter just to keep them in place. Now we'll flip it around and use the other side for the other side of my eyebrow, or the other side of my face. Okay, I think the eyebrows are good. Now let's move on to the lips. Let me just clean them a little bit. They have some of the foundation on. The first steps in my lip that I've been doing for years is the Bonne Belle's Lipsmackers. Flavor doesn't matter. My favorite usually is the Dr. Pepper. This one is watermelon. I'm really not picky though. Usually whatever the 3-pack is that I buy. And because we've got a really bright eye look today, I don't want the lipstick to be super bright as well. So I'm going to use a more nude shade, which is the Jouer Cosmetics Longwear Lip Cream Liquid Lipstick in Dulce de Leche, which is that one. It's kind of nude, but it also has some pink undertones to it, which will match with the look that I'm going for. And you'll notice that I don't start with a lip liner. When I'm using the Longwear lipstick, I kind of use the lipstick itself as the lip liner. And so my Cupid's bow is super pointy, so I kind of tried to round it out a little bit. All right, that is my completed look. Let's put some hair down. This is something you can see me on a typical work day, wearing to work. It's one of my go-tos. So since I am going to be at home on quarantine, I do want to get out a lot more content. So please let me know if there's any certain colors or any certain looks you'd like to see, and I would be more than happy to do them for you. I'll try to get this one up as fast as I can. So if you sat with me to the end of this video, I think it was my first one that's going to go live, so I am pretty nervous. I did take a lorazepam to help ease my nerves, but then that also kind of mellowed me out. But just bear with me, they'll get better. My personality will get better, I promise. And thank you for the support and everyone who has been asking me to do this, or encouraging me, I should say, not asking me, because it's something I wanted to do. I think that's everything. Stay safe out there. Bye.